The moment the twin moons eclipse the land, the cursed child shall rise. He shall walk the path of darkness and light, and only through the trial of souls shall he break the ancient curse, or be devoured by it. The wind howled through the ancient kingdom of Zubari, carrying whispers of forgotten gods and unseen spirits. The night sky burned crimson as two full moons aligned, their eerie glow painting the village in blood-red light. Inside a small mud hut, a woman's screams tore through the silence. Sweat drenched her body as she labored, her breath ragged with exhaustion. The village midwives surrounded her, murmuring incantations, their voices trembling. And then he was born, a boy with strange golden eyes that gleamed like fire in the dark. The moment his first cry pierced the air, the wind outside stopped. The tree no longer rustled. The night animals fell silent. A heavy stillness settled upon the land. Then from within the forest of echoes came a sound that sent terror racing through the villagers' bones. A deep guttural hiss. The midwives staggered back. The eldest among them, Baba Olumo, placed a trembling hand on the boy's forehead. His voice, usually strong and commanding, quivered. The serpents have awakened. The village elders gathered before dawn, their faces pale. They knew the prophecy. They knew what the twin moons foretold. A child shall be born under the eclipse, bound to the fate of the twin serpents. He alone will determine whether Zubari dies or falls into darkness. The elders debated. Should they cast the boy out? Should they offer him to the gods before the curse takes hold? But the child's mother, Abeni, held her son close. Her voice was like iron. He is my son, and if fate has chosen him, then let him carve his own path. And so the child was named Ekene, meaning the one who brings destiny. But fate is a cruel thing. For 18 years, Ekene grew up haunted by strange occurrences. When he walked through the village, shadows stretched unnaturally behind him. Animals stared at him too long, as if recognizing something no human eye could see. At night, he heard voices in the wind, whispering secrets he could never quite understand. The villagers feared him. They called him Omoishu, meaning child of the trickster spirit. Yet they could not deny his skill. Ekene was the greatest hunter in Zubari. His spear never missed its mark, and no beast could outrun it. But he longed for something more. He longed to understand the darkness that lingered inside him. Then, on the eve of his 19th year, the earth trembled. A great crack split through the forest of echoes, and from its depths, two monstrous spirits, two monstrous serpents emerged, one as black as midnight, the other gleaming like molten gold. Their eyes burned with an ancient hunger. In the heart of Zubari, the elders knew the prophecy had begun. Ekene stood before the village council, his spear clutched in his hand. I will face them, he declared. Babalumo gazed at him, sorrow heavy in his old eyes. This is not a hunt, my son. The twin serpents are not mere beasts. They are the cursed gods of Zubari, trapped in their monstrous forms for their greed and betrayal. If they are cursed, Ekene said, then perhaps they can be freed. The old man sighed. Only through the trial of souls can their fate be changed. But none who have attempted it have ever returned. Ekene met Baba Olumo's gaze. Then let me be the first. And so, Before the first light of dawn, he stepped into the forest of echoes, not knowing if he would ever return. Chapter 2: The Trial of the Twin Serpents. The path ahead is shrouded in shadows. Those who enter the forest of echoes either find their destiny or are devoured by it. The forest of echoes was unlike any place in Zubari. The trees twisted unnaturally, their branches curling like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. Thick fog clung to the air, muffling sound, yet whispers slithered between the trees, low, eerie murmurs that seemed to call Ekene by name. He gripped his spear tightly. The spirits were watching. Every step he took felt heavier, as though something unseen was pressing against his chest, testing his resolve. He had ventured deep into the forest. He had ventured deep into the forest before, but tonight was different. Tonight, the air carried the weight of an ancient curse. Then the ground trembled beneath him. The whispering stopped. The trees held their breath, and from the darkness, two colossal forms emerged. One was black as the void, its scales shimmering like liquid night, its golden eyes burning with hunger. The other gleamed like molten gold, its body moving like flowing light, its stare piercing through the darkness. The twin serpents had come. At last, the cursed child arrives. The black serpent hissed, its voice slithering into Ekene's mind. "Have you come to slay us, warrior?" The golden serpent asked, its voice deep, rumbling like distant thunder. Ekene did not flinch. "I have come to end this curse. Whether that means killing you or freeing you, I do not yet know." The serpents circled him, their massive body coiling around the clearing like an unbreakable wall. They were gods once, twin rulers of Zubari, cursed for their greed and betrayal. "Then you must be tested," the black serpent declared. "You must face the trial of souls," the golden serpent added. And without warning, the world shattered. The first trial, the illusion of power. Ekene blinked. He was no longer in the forest. He stood on the throne of gold, wearing the robes of a king. Servants bowed before him, offering riches beyond imagination. The people of Zubari cheered his name. "This is your destiny," a voice whispered. He turned to see a shadowy figure standing beside him, a version of himself, but with empty eyes and a cruel smile. "You are meant to rule," the shadow said. "Why fight the curse when you could wield its power?" Ekene's finger tightened around the armrest of the throne. For a moment, he was tempted. All his life, he had been feared, called cursed. Now he was worshipped. But then he saw it. The people cheering for him had empty eyes. Their voices hollow, their hands moving in eerie unison. "This is not real," Ekene murmured. His shadow grinned, "But doesn't matter. You can have everything you've ever wanted." Ekene raised his spear and plunged it into the golden throne. The illusion shattered, and he was back in the forest. The golden serpent let out a low hum of approval. "You do not hunger for power. Good." But the black serpent only eased. There is still more to face. The second trial, the shadow of fear. Darkness swallowed the world again. This time, Ekene stood in the middle of his village. But something was wrong. The air smelled of smoke and blood. The huts were burning. People screamed. Shadows moved through the flames, monstrous shapes with glowing eyes. And then Ekene saw himself, holding a blade, standing over his mother's lifeless body. His heart pounded. No, this isn't real. The shadow version of himself turned and grinned, blood dripping from his hands. You think you are different from me? This is what you will become. Ekene's grip on his spear tightened. The image was horrifying, but he refused to believe it. You are not me, Ekene said. The shadow laughed. Then prove it. If you are not a killer, then throw your spear aside and embrace your fate. Ekene did not hesitate. He thrust his spear through the heart of the shadow. The darkness exploded into the shards of nothingness, and once again he stood before the serpent. The black serpent coiled tighter. You have conquered fear, but the final test will decide your fate. The third trial, the choice that cannot be unmade. The serpent's bodies began to merge, twisting into a single monstrous form, a being of light and shadow, neither god nor beast, but something greater. Now you must choose. The twin voices spoke as one. One of us shall live, the other must perish. Only then will the curse be broken. Ekene's chest tightened. If he chose the golden serpent, light would reign, but the balance would be shattered. If he chose the black serpent, darkness would spread, consuming all. But then he saw the truth. This is a trick, he said. The serpent's east. You were never meant to rule separately. The curse was never about choosing one over the other. It was about balance. Ekene stepped back, lowering his spear. I choose neither. The world trembled. A roar echoed across the sky as the twin serpents dissolved into pure energy. The forest shook, the heavens burned, and then silence. The trees stood tall once more. The whispers in the wind were gone. The curse was broken. Chapter 3. The Return of the Warrior. Ekene awoke beneath the great baobab tree at the edge of the forest. The first light of dawn kissed the land, golden and pure. He stood, his body aching, but his heart light. He had done what no warrior before him could. As he walked back to Zubari, he saw the land healing. Rivers running clear, crops growing where there was once holy dust. The people of Zubari gathered in silent awe as he approached. Baba Olumo stepped forward, his wise eyes filled with wonder. Balance has been restored, the old man whispered. Ekene did not claim a throne. He did not seek power. He had faced the darkness within himself and conquered it. Instead, he knelt before the great baobab and whispered a prayer of gratitude to the spirit, for he knew the truth. Strength was not in conquest. Strength was in wisdom. And so the legend of Ekene, the balance bringer, was passed down through generations, a reminder that in all things, light and shadow, power and humility, balance is the key to true harmony. The spirits still watch. Deep within the forest of echoes, two golden eyes and two black eyes flickered within the mist. The twin serpents, freed from their cursed forms, watched over Zubari once more. The boy was different. The golden voice murmured. Perhaps the world is ready for something new. The black voice replied. And as the spirit whispered through the trees, a sincere truth remained. The spirits still watch.